What's up, boys? Welcome back to another video. Today in this video we're going to talk about Gears Pro League, ranked, and much more. Please leave a like on this video if you do enjoy, subscribe if you love Gears, and let's get into the video. So boys, ranked is coming back to Gears, which I'm so happy about, thank God. Ranked focuses on competitive structure and progression. Each mode's specific playlist features its own rank and skill rating system, while tight matchmaking and strict penalties for quitting help ensure that every match is fought on even footing. After completing your placement matches, right, you need to complete 3 placement matches. When I was on the early access, there was you could go into the ranked and you could see the ranks and stuff like that. I tried to find a game but wasn't able to. You'll be assigned a skill division and rank. Your skill division is based on the skill-based rating used for matchmaking and reflects your perceived skill relative to the other players in that playlist. Since it's relative, it can fluctuate over time regardless of how you're playing. So you have your skill division rank, and then you have your rank. So there's 5 different ranks. There's bronze, silver, gold, onyx, and diamond so far. Not sure if there's going to be a master's rank. Hopefully there is, because I am the master of ranked and I want to get back to being the master of ranked. From this, what I'm getting at is that it has like a hidden kind of skill rating similar to like COD ranked. It has your expected, say if there's 4 players on your team and these 4 players have a higher rating overall, they're more expected to win. The game makes an assumption that, okay, this team is more likely to win based on their skill. If the other team, the underdog team, wins that match, they will gain more points. That's kind of how COD works, and it's all to do with personal, how you perform yourself. That's kind of how the COD ranked system works. I think that's what they're getting at here, but we'll read on. Your rank is based on your rank rating and tracks your progression through the playlist ladder. While your skill division reflects the competition you're expected to face, your rank reflects the progress you've earned. Rank rating is earned and lost through match outcomes and performance. You can only gain points in victory and lose points in defeat. The amount of points you stand to win or lose is based on your skill division, with the stakes increasing as the competition elevates. You can't drop a load of kills, do absolutely everything, carry your team, lose, and then still gain points. You'll probably lose less points if you perform so well, but you can only gain points if you win. This is going to make it a bit difficult for solo queuers, and then teams are going to dominate ranked. But to be honest, boys, that's what happens. That's what happens in all games. In COD, it's the same. In all games, if you're playing with a stack, it's going to be more like, you're more likely to win. But hopefully the matches will be balanced. And you know, 4 stacks will play 4 stacks, hopefully, in an ideal world. The amount of points you stand to win or lose is based on your skill division. So this is where your kind of hidden rank comes into play, and maybe what the game expects of you, and it depends on who you're playing against. So like I said, if the other team is, you know, more expected to win, have a better team rating overall, and you win, you're probably going to gain more points than you would have if you were playing a team that's kind of like lower level, expected to lose. Like if you're Onyx playing like Silvers and you win, you're going to gain less points. That's what I'm getting at here. Now, the games are going to be 4v4, which the whole game is 4v4, even in pubs. So a lot of room on the maps in 4v4 from what I've played. So when I was on the early access, I swear I did. I saw the emblems in the ranked, and it was definitely bronze, silver, gold, onyx here, and diamond. So it's not confirmed anywhere here, but I'm almost certain. I put money on it that that's the case. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything about a master's rank yet. Hopefully though it does come. And then most likely for rank, there'll probably be ranked weapon skins. If you get up to the max rank, you get diamond weapon skins. Kind of like Gears 4 when that first came out. Ranked came out in Gears 4. Gears 4 ranking system was actually pretty good, and I think we might see something similar. Gears 5 ranking system just kind of, you know, it was all right, but then they just stopped caring about it and it disappeared. Now for the game modes. There's 4 game modes in Gears when it launches: TDM, Conquest, Demolition, and Crucible. I think that the 2 game modes we're gonna have in ranked is going to be Demolition and Conquest. I think Crucible might be there, unless they just put ranked for every game mode, but that would include TDM, and that's just the worst ranked mode ever. So I hope they don't do that and they get it right, because if they have too many options, it's going to spread the player base too thin. Matches will take longer. It's just not good. What I think is Conquest and Demolition are going to be the game modes. Here it says, Conquest is a twist on classic King of the Hill experience. The main objective of the mode still hinges on occupying and defending specified zones around the map. However, rather than rotating on a set interval like King of the Hill, zones in Conquest stay active until one team successfully occurs enough time spent in the zone to score. With close coordination and effective teamwork, your squad can turn the tide and snatch victory from the jaws of defeat at the last possible second. Talking a lot of mumbo jumbo there. It's kind of like Hardpoint. There's sections on the map. Each team have to capture the section. There's no time limit on these sections though. So whatever team fully captures it wins. But yeah, so you can't just flip it and then at the last bit they might only need like 2%, 2 more points on it to capture it fully, and another team can just hold it down. That's why I think it's going to be very good. First to 4, so whoever captures 4 of them, and I believe there's 4 different rings or areas around each map. It's so much better structured than just random floating rings. So this is a big win. Good job. Now the second one is Demolition. This is kind of like Search and Destroy or like CS. In Demolition, teams battle to control the neutral bomb that must be delivered and planted at one of 2 enemy bomb sites. Once armed, the planting team must defend the bomb until it detonates while fighting without respawns. 3 successful detonations win the match. So the combat and tactics around where to plant and how to defend it gets intense. So boys, this is huge. We're not seeing execution anymore. It's Demolition. It's a bomb game mode. You have to pick up the bomb, plant it in 2 either bomb sites, and there's no respawns. This game is going to be so exciting. I can't believe this is actually in Gears. This is going to be an unbelievable game mode. We're finally evolving from execution. And then there's Crucible. I don't know. I'm not really seeing it being, it might be in ranked and it might be competitive in the beginning, but I think it might fade out. Crucible debuting as a new versus mode. Crucible centers around the power core, a heavy piece of cog equipment that can be picked up and carried. If your team holds the power core inside the zone, you acquire progress towards scoring. But as the round progresses, the zone will move and shrink inside the zone. You'll need to fend off attackers from opposing teams trying to claim the power core for themselves. Thankfully, the power core also stores an electrical charge that can blast enemies' flesh right off their bones, giving you and your team one last line of defense to hold the zone and win. So boys, this is kind of like Oddball from Halo. You know, you pick up the skull, you pick up this big power core, and you have to run around the map. But now the zone shrinks, so it's kind of like a mix of like Warzone or something. This zone shrinks and moves around the map, so you have to move with it. So you constantly have to be on the move. You can't just sit in a corner. And also on top of that, whoever's holding it has this big blast charge, which is like the thunder gun from COD, that can blast everyone. I don't know. Maybe it could work. Maybe it could work as a competitive game mode. Maybe it could work. But this looks cool. It looks cool, but I just don't know if ranked. I think people like Gears. People like it simple. I think a search and destroy execution game mode, and then a kill game mode, respawn game mode, which is Conquest. But we'll see. Maybe this could hit. And then we get on to the 6 new maps. So we have Outpost, Battleship. Haven't played that yet. Park. Not played that yet. Looks pretty cool. That looks like Gears. Precinct. Market. That was the one in the early access and the beta. Pretty good map. It's a very good map actually. And then Skyward. Not played that either. So yeah, I imagine we're gonna have rank up rewards, rank up skins, stuff like that. But yeah, boys, it's looking bright. It's looking bright. So competitive is going to be there. Now it depends on whether we're gonna get a pro league or funded by Gears. I don't know. This is what Icy had to say. Now Icy was on X and said, some advice for someone who's done it all, been there for 10 years. Create content short form, long. Everybody wants to be the next Faker, but I promise you, content is the way. My biggest regret is not locking in sooner, especially during the Optic days. And then he goes on to say, I want nothing more than to see esports come back, but unfortunately, I highly doubt it's going to happen. If we want any chance in the future, we need to make sure we push E-Day as much as possible, upload, stream, everything. Now, I agree, boys. That's what's going to grow the games. People need to be doing it. And people need to stop just complaining and crying on Twitter all day. So many people just cry and complain. Like, it's actually cringe. It makes their entire life is just complaining about Gears. It's actually cringe. What I want to show you, though, is Kayson. Kayson said, how can we bring competitive back into Gears E-Day? Would love to help and will field a FaZe team for it. That's crazy. Kayson, that's crazy. So Kayson is the co-owner of FaZe eSports. Now, FaZe obviously disbanded, but FaZe eSports is still alive. But that's crazy from saying that. So we have Domes, you know, begging them to, we have Avexes, a lot of people need that FaZe CS magic over in Gears. Everybody just wants it. Look at this guy. Everybody wants it. So I don't know. They have a great reception on this. And to be honest, boy, the Gears have been very quiet. They've been quiet for years, but even they've been quiet about a lot of things. So it could be they gave nothing to even the pro players, you know, early access. I got early access, but like, what about the Icy? What about the Avexes that have been grinding for the last 2-3 years, even when the game was dead? They haven't even got really anything more than, say, I did early, so any more information. So I don't know, man. I don't know. They could just come out of nowhere and then just announce something. They really could. And hopefully they do. And then the last thing I want to just talk about is Nicmercs and what he had to say about Gears. So let's listen, shall we?
Because, you know, we need a new player pool. The OGs.
You know, okay, like what Jay probably wants is he wants Gears of War to like blow up again, like on some Arc shit. You know what I mean? Like just take the gaming community by storm. Everybody's on Gears of War, everyone's playing and shit. But like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Listen, the reality of Gears of War has kind of always been this. Gears of War is just a complex shooter. It's intimidating. It's got a high skill ceiling. It's very hard for casuals to jump in and play and even jump in and do well. You know, like the skill gap is huge. It's always been this way. So, you know, when Call of Duty comes out, like every Bob, Frank, and Jim are just going to go play COD over Gears of War. Like they're not going to play Gears. They're just not.
Yeah, and on top of that, boys, the new COD is coming out. The new GTA is coming out. That's the game killer. But Gears is at such a, like, there's still always going to be the OGs. There's still people on Gears 5 now grinding like customs and stuff, though. There is always going to be the OGs there.
I mean, people might try, you know, but to me, like, I'm looking at his gameplay right now, and I'm seeing the same fucking shit. Gears is not complex. No, it is, man. It ain't.
Definitely is complex. I don't know why Little Geek is saying. Probably some Roblox player.
What I mean by that is, like, it's not a game where anybody can jump on and perform, you know?
But he says it looks like the same. But yeah, of course it looks the same, man. It's Gears. We don't want it wouldn't be Gears if they just like started flying around the map, grew some wings and started flying around the map and teleporting around places. Like, of course we want Gears of War to look like Gears of War. And this game looks, feels, and plays like Gears of War. The only thing is the movement feels a little bit different. And the characters are back to having a lot of weight. So I don't really know what Nick's saying there, but Nick is an OG Gears 1 pro. He's actually one of the GOATs, but I just don't know. Of course it's the same.
You can jump on and you're always going to be able to get kills.
It's like it has the same fundamentals, but it needs to, or else it would take away the core, you know, what staple of what that game is.
Always. You could be any skill level, any type of hours in, and you'll be able to load up a game and get some kills. Gears of War, that's not the case. You're not going to be able to load up Gears of War and be good. You can't. You got to put in a lot of time. You got to understand it. You got to peel it back. You got to learn strats. You got to learn the movement. So, but I ain't arguing with none of y'all. Believe me, I know this. Halo was kind of like that too. It was a little bit easier entry, you know? Like you could play social. Halo 3 had a lot more like, you know, little things you could tap into, but just Gears of War in nature, man, it's a brutal game for entry, you know. But there's not a lot going on, so maybe because there's not a lot going on, there might be a lot of people that try out the beta, and they might try out Gears of War in general, and maybe there will be like a bunch of new players on Gears. Maybe there will, but I don't know, man. I think that like the dream scenario that Jay and a lot of people want and desire, I think that I don't think it'll ever be the truth. Like, I don't think it'll ever happen. I just think that if they keep Gears true to how it is, they're always going to be like avoiding the casual player base, and the casual player base is where everybody is. Anytime a big game pops off, is because it appeases to the fucking casual gamers, man. You know what I mean? So I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't think what he's saying is going to happen. My prediction is that won't happen. But I still think that everybody in here, you know, and me and the boys, we can all enjoy Gears of War, and it can be fun, and it can be great. It can be, you know, I think that can be true. But I don't think Gears of War is ever going to be the main squeeze in the gaming community.
Yeah, it's fair, boys. I mean, it probably won't be again, but at least we're still getting these games made, man. I'm actually like, at least they didn't stop just after like Gears 3 at the peak, or Gears 4 when it wasn't going so good. I don't know. Well, maybe it could. I mean, Arc is I don't think Arc is that easy as well, though. I mean, you have a lot of sweats on Arc as well. We'll see. But boys, that's it for this video. Wanted to cover a few things. I love Gears so much, so I'm going to be covering everything. I want to talk about everything. I want the game to grow. So yeah, boys, if you did enjoy and you felt this video was useful, please do leave a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. I post like every day, especially on my TikTok, Instagram, and X. Join up the X, boys. Giving away a few copies over there. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video.